And good morning everyone! Nako, napakagandang umaga, isang napakaliwanag na umaga sa ating lahat. At nandito po tayo ngayon actually lumipat kami ngayon ng YouTube channel. So kung mapapansin nyo, hindi kami nagba-broadcast today sa GEG Philippines. But we are here in the YouTube channel of St. Joseph's Academy of Las Piñas. And we are going to have a very interesting panel kasi ito yung isang mga bagay na very excited din ako because we are not only going to tackle collaboration between faculty but we're going to look at collaboration between students and magkakwento yung panelists natin kung paano nila ginawa yun. This is very appropriate also for the theme of Google Educator Group Asia Pacific Weekend Live. So yun po ang inyong pinanonood right now because the theme of GEG APAC Weekend Live is staying connected. So ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin when we stay connected during the time of pandemic, lalo na ngayon that all of us are online. So with me this morning for our first session ng day 2 is the senior high school faculty of St. Joseph's Academy Las Piñas. They are called International Youth Collab Team Mentors. So, simulan natin dun sa una nilang faculty member, sa una nilang team member, si Sir Theo Viray. Sir Theo, good morning po.
Good morning, Teacher Paula. Good day to all our live audience sa YouTube channel.
Yes. All right. Yes. So, Sir Theo, ano nga po ulit ang tinuturo ninyo sa faculty?
I'm teaching discipline in social sciences, Teacher Paula.
Sa senior high school po, ano?
Yes.
Alright. Sige, tawagin po natin yung isa pa nilang team member, si Ma'am Melissa Espiritu. She is the institution principal. So, Ma'am Melissa, good morning po.
Hi. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning also to everyone that's watching right now. Happy Saturday to all.
Oo nga, Saturday na Saturday, ano?
Alright. APAC weekend, yes.
Correct. Okay po. Sige, tawagin naman po natin si Sir McRae Sario and he teaches. Sir McRae, are you here with us?
Yes, hello everyone. Magandang umaga Pilipinas and hello world.
Oh,
yeah, I'm Sir McRae. I am teaching theology, Living Laudato Si.
Wow. I realize that you have a very diverse team members, especially pag pinakilala na natin yung dalawa pang team members na kasali sa atin today. So, let me call on Miss Violi Alonzo.
Hi, good morning everyone. Kumusta po ang inyong Sabado day?
Ayan.
Violi here.
Mamaya na ang labada.
Sure.
Ano po tinuturo ni mong Violi?
Right now, I'm the junior high school science coordinator. Yes.
Wow! Oo nga, very diverse nga po kayo. Sige, tawagin po natin yung last team member natin for today for the panel si Ma'am Geraldine Guevara. Ma'am Geraldine, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning po sa lahat.
Good morning, Doc.
Isang magandang mapagpalang umaga sa lahat.
Thank you so much po for joining GEG APAC Weekend Live. This is broadcast po not only sa Philippines. Actually, there are many talks going on within the whole region. So this is the Philippine leg that you're watching. Maraming salamat po for our viewers who are tuned in right now in YouTube. So today po we are going to be looking at, or for this session, we are going to be looking at helping to save our planet through international collaborative projects using G Suite for Education. And so Theo, do you know how many years has St. Joseph's Academy have been using G Suite na po?
For this collaboration, almost 3 years to 4 years na namin ginagamit itong Google Suites application sa aming collaboration.
That's very nice. I'm very interested in actually on this topic because one of the things that I'm looking at for my own practice and for my own students is that they get to collaborate not only within the classroom, not only with the teachers, but even internationally. So we're all very excited to hear from you po. So at this point, I will be giving the microphone to Sir Theo. Sir Theo, take it away.
Yes, yes, thank you. Ayan, okay. So good day to all our live audience. Salamat, Teacher Paula, no, sa pag-introduce sa amin. Yes, it is an early Saturday morning talk. Have you taken your morning coffee na ba? And pandesal with eggs, sinangag with danggit and tuyo, name it. Ang sarap, and that is a usual Filipino breakfast on the table. Okay, so as what Teacher Paula mentioned, for today, our group will be presenting how our school, St. Joseph's Academy in Las Piñas City, effectively use the Google Suites for education in organizing, collaborating, and joining, no, in the various local and international projects on climate change. My name is Theo Viray. With me again, my faculty mentors, Ms. Melissa Espiritu, Mr. Ray Sario, Miss Violi Alonso, and Miss Geraldine Guevara will be sharing our engaging and remarkable experiences as educators in this topic, helping to save our planet through international collaborative projects using Google Suites for Education hashtag GEG APAC, APAC Connect. Okay, so to give us a brief overview of these amazing international youth collaborations, may I call on our first panelist, Miss Melissa, our institutional principal. How are you, Miss? Kamusta po?
Hi, Sir Theo.
Good morning, coffee.
Good morning. Coffee is long cold. And I'd like to greet everyone, mga kaguruan po sa Pilipinas at sa
Yes.
labas ng Pilipinas. Magandang umaga. Thank you
Yes,
for
I think
being with us.
our viewers on YouTube Live are thrilled to know how this project on climate in our school had started. No?
Yes.
Okay, now, would you
I'll
like to
begin.
tell us the story
Yes.
behind our teachers and
Sige.
students' experience on this project? Go ahead,
Yes,
po.
sir. So, thank you, sir. So, magkukwento lang po ako, no? I will give you an overview of the international youth collaborations that we have been doing for the past 3 years. Let's begin with a short video. So, panoorin po natin ito.
Issue namin. So we have here deforestation, water pollution, and air pollution. Pero nga po, we also wanted to focus on the dolomite sand.
Yeah,
So,
kasi yan yung latest,
Yes po.
right? Okay.
Yes po. So ayun po, miss, yung issues na linagay namin dito.
Okay. You can also include, Irene, when did it all start? Tapos, ano yung location? Saan kinuha? Tapos, saan dinala? Paano kinuha? It's there.
Ito po,
And,
miss.
ayan, September of this year.
2020. And then, ito po, nations. Ayan po. So,
Okay.
medyo complete na naman po siya.
Oo. Okay.
Irene, meron ba kayong mga pictures niyan?
Sir, wala pong naka-insert. And wala rin po namang nakalagay na... Ay, ito po.
Oo.
Pero nasa impacts na po siya.
Okay.
Pictures.
Alright. Nasa impacts na.
Issue namin. So we have here the
Okay, so doesn't it sound familiar, teachers? Parang nag-uusap lamang ay parang mga teachers na nagpaplano for their lessons, pero ang kausap po namin ay mga estudyante. So we used Google Meet and Google Slides to talk about our preparations for one of the international youth collaborations. And that will be explained in further detail by the teachers that will follow. No? I just like to anchor that all of our international youth collaborations are based on the Sustainable Development Goals. So if we're familiar with the goals, parang konting taon na lang, no? I think we only have less than 10 years to meet all of these goals. And if only the adults and only the experts and world leaders will think about it, mauubusan na rin sila ng time. So, naisip namin at ng international community, yung mga collaborators namin, why not involve the youth? Why not involve the students? Kasi kanila to no? Kanila at sa mga magiging anak nila. And ang dami ng goals, no? And in school, in St. Joseph, we try to address every one of them in all aspects of schooling. But in particular, for the international youth collaborations, we are looking at climate action. Okay? Yan talaga, kasi that's a global issue. Lahat nakakaramdam yan. Okay? Yung bagyo sa atin, yun namang mga tsunami or very strong winters naman sa ibang lugar. What's common in all of these things around the world is climate change, no? So young people have a lot to say about this and they have a lot of solutions, proposals, no? Tapos meron din kaming mga pinag-uusapan about life below water. Meron din kami on industry innovation and infrastructure. And of course, good health and well-being, no? Lalo na ngayon sa COVID crisis natin. So there, that is the parang theoretical underpinning of our youth collaborations. Okay, now, ang aming co-collaborator dito is the Center for Global Education. So this is their brainchild, in fact, no? The CGE develops and delivers virtual collaborative learning projects that engage and empower youth as global citizens through connecting them with people, places, and issues that they only learn in the classrooms previously. Okay, so CGE is based in Alberta, Canada. And for the past years, no, kasi ang St. Joseph, pumasok ito noong 2018. But in the school where I previously taught, it has also been involved in collaborations like this. Okay? So, ang mga bata ay ginagather nila virtually through video conferences, at iba pang activities, parang klase, no? Hindi lang po ito one shot, no? It usually takes about 4 to 6 months to complete, no? Involving students, peers from all over the world, no? And the portal that they use for this is taking it global, no? It's a network of young people learning together about, engaging with, and working towards tackling global challenges. Okay, so 3 out of the 4 projects revolve around what we call decarbonize, decolonize. So ito yung slant na kinukuha ng Center for Global Education to tackle issues on climate change. Okay, thinking na if many countries in the world that are suffering from the effects of climate change, ito yung mga mahihirap na bansa, ito yung mga very sparse ang resources, sila pa ang tinatamaan at kasi sila yung nakakasalo, no, because of location and also because of colonial practices. Now we are beholden to larger economies. We consume oil, we consume products from around the world, no. So natatamaan talaga tayo. And UNESCO is at the forefront of this project, no. They partnered with CGE so that merong presence sa United Nations, which works on 3 projects, no. The Conference of Parties on Climate Change. So this is an annual international conference where global experts talk about mitigations, no, on the climate change and climate issues. So ang mga nasalihan po ng St. Joseph ay COP24 in Poland, tapos COP25 originally in Chile but moved to Madrid, And the third one, because of the pandemic, ay hindi talaga matutuloy this year, but instead it will be next year in 2021 in Scotland. Okay? And then we have one project called Energy Futures, and this is in collaboration with a lot of organizations from around the world. In particular, the head organization is Just Powers, no? So lahat po ng mga entities na ito po ang tumulong para magsama-sama ang mga bata, para sila ay makapag-usap, para sila ay makapagbigay linaw. Anong nangyayari sa mga bansa nila? Ano yung common issues sa kanila at common solutions na pwede nilang pagsamahin, okay? So yan, ang nangyayari po kasi dyan, merong mga video conferences, no? Bilateral, continental, and tri-regional conferences. The time zones are crazy, no? When we meet with 32 countries around the world, usually ang Pilipinas, 10:00 ng gabi ang slot namin. And for the last 2 years, the students, usually po to grade 12, we started with grade 12 students, they would come here and they will stay overnight, no? Talking to their counterparts from around the world. And then they do collaborative blogging, that will be explained later, a lot of research, and a lot of writing, okay? Not just among the country participants, but also from around the world, no? For example, if St. Joseph is partnered with a school in Australia, they work collaboratively on a regional project, which they will present to a bigger audience, no? More continents involved. Then there's a writer's retreat, okay? Explain din yan mamaya sa atin ni Sir Theo. So this is where physically pupunta sila sa isang bansa para tapusin yung kanilang project, okay? At the final project, just like any class, is a paper, no? It's a position paper or a white paper. Once they put all of their ideas together and it's a cohesive paper, they will now present it in international conferences. Okay? So yun po yung flow ng aming mga international youth collaborations. Okay? So this is just a sample of what happened to one of our delegates. No? Si Richard Muniz was an SJA and Philippine delegate to the Decolonize, Decarbonize program, IYD. So he participated physically in Poland. No? He was there for about 10 days with Sir Theo as his mentor. Okay? And this is just an example of
This is our school, St. Joseph's Academy. It's one of the oldest Catholic schools in our
Can you hear the audio?
So the climate reality in Las Piñas.
He is presenting in Poland to students and teachers from schools in Poland and an international academic community.
It's really a big problem because the typhoons contribute a lot of torrential rain, and the floods are actually too deep. And when there's a lot of floods, classes are really canceled. We can't go out because it's really occupying the streets. As you can see here, the people are in our school.
Ayan. Okay? So that's a sample. And, you know, di ba, noong 2018, I think this is where the youth climate strikes started to gain traction around the world, no? And its poster child is Greta Thunberg. So see, this is Richard, and he was able to collaborate for a few minutes with Greta Thunberg herself, no? So that's something, no? Achievement sa bata and a feat for youth of the Philippines, no? Na magkaroon sila ng audience sa mga ganitong pagkakataon.
It's really occupying the streets. As you can see here, the people are really...
Yan. Okay? And through it all, from the start, we have been using extensively the Google apps, no? I think even before the pandemic, it has been our go-to portal and set of tools, no? Especially emails na kailangan alauna ng umaga ay titignan namin kung may email from somewhere from around the world. And all of these other apps that we have been using extensively. And as the years go by and as our teachers started to become Google certified, mas lalo pang napalalim yung paggamit namin ng mga ganitong bagay, no? So again, that is just an overview. Okay. It's just our way of saying na it can be done, no? Any school can set up an international collaboration. You just make the right connections, seek contacts, and voila, before you know it, you are already in the middle of very important conversations led by the youth. And to tell us more about the first one, the very first collab that we did, CAP24, I'd like to present our assistant principal for senior high school and the head mentor of all of these collaborations, Mr. Teo Viray. Hi, Sir Teo.
Ayan. Thank you, Miss Melissa, for giving us a clear overview and introduction on how this awesome project had started, no? And I'm pretty sure our student delegates for this year are much more excited about the writers retreat that will be happening in the next 2 weeks, no? And on the next slide, no, I will explain, no? Kanina sinabi ni Miss Millet kung paano ba yung writers retreat and ano-ano ba yung mga ginagamit nilang Google application for education na very important for the collaboration, no, ng mga estudyante, specifically itong white paper or position paper. Nandoon nila ilalagay lahat, isusulat in real time yung kanilang mga ang kanilang advocacy, yung kanilang mga plano during the bilateral and then the continental presentation. Okay, so let me share with you our first ever encounters, no, in hashtag decolonize, decarbonize COP24. And of course, to further specify how the Google Suites applications have been effectively, no, utilized on this international project. Okay po. In the next slide, meron po kaming poster, no? A promotional poster of our dear student delegates. We have selected 13 senior high school students as a research team in our country po yan, for the United Nations COP, no? COP24 on climate change. And these student delegates had a virtual meeting with other student leaders from over 20 countries and had received an overview, no, of the entire project from the CGE, UNESCO organizers during the global launching, as what Miss Melissa said po. Moreover, sa susunod na 2 slides, our student delegates work so much time and passion, no, to learn through a series of online learning activities, through several video conferences, as sinabi kanina ni Miss Melissa, and a collaborative writings and presentation using Google Slides and Google Documents, no? Furthermore po, in the bilateral and continental conference in particular, our students presented po the Philippines issue on Kaliwa Dam, no? On the next slide po, you can see our students presented the sociological and environmental impact on humans, no, for Filipino brothers and sisters, and the direct impact of this to our mother nature, no. Surprisingly, they encourage also the youth across the world to save their own future by signing a petition supporting no to Kaliwa Dam and yes to alternatives. Meron po kaming ipi-play na video na kung saan makikita natin dito yung paggamit nila ng Google Docs. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa previous slides po. Ayan. So nakikita natin yung features po ng Google Docs. Meron kami inassign ng mga estudyante like 3 potential student leaders, for example, si Amar, Garcia, Muniz, and they were given a topic. Tapos ito na yung paglalagay nila, pagsusulat din nila ng blog. Ang kagandahan ng Google Doc application po, they can actually write, no, in real time yung kanilang mga collaborative, no? At saka may mga highlighted colors na pwedeng magkaroon ka ng input, your critic, your summary, your recommendation, both student leaders or delegates, pati na rin ang teachers, to make this position paper or white paper more presentable, maging organized yung kanilang concepts, At yon yung kagandahan po. You can also, meron pong share tab dyan na pwedeng i-share sa kanilang mga co-youth delegates sa ibang bansa. On the next slides po, ayan kanina, present po ni Miss Melissa, no, si Richard Muniz po. Last December 2018, siya po ay sumali, no, for this youth conferences around the world, no, to participate nga yung COP24 in Katowice, Poland. Those were the days, no, as a teacher mentor, nakita ko yung hindi lang si Richard, pati na rin yung other participants na widely used talaga ang Google Docs, Google Slides, and of course yung Google Calendar, kinakailangan na nilang, for example, pumunta sa meeting place, we need to be there, we need to gather, at yung mga chat na ito ay importante for their organization para magkaroon sila ng meeting app, no? And in addition, our country, no, represented the Philippines in the conversation about the connections, no, between the indigenous people's traditional knowledge, no, and climate action and justice. Yan po yung pinaka overall theme ng COP24. Tapos sa susunod na COP25, mamaya si Miss Melissa, at COP26 mamaya po ipipresent ni Sir McRae. May kanya-kanya po mga overarching theme for the year. And Richard and then the other youth delegates from other participating countries like Kenya, Canada, Australia, Indonesia, Latvia, and the United States were also presented their case at the 14th Conference of the Youth prior to COP24. On the next slide, I would like to specify the important role of Google Education application in this project. As I mentioned, Google Slides and Google Docs are the two major applications that give our students an equal advantage, no, with all the information, learning materials, and tools shared by the organizing committee of this project. Moreover, this widely used and free Google applications provide our students the opportunity to explore a wide range of information given unto them and make their learning experience simple, engaging, and a lot of fun while using these innovative digital learning tools. Okay, all right. Moving forward to COP25 in particular, we'll now call on our next panelist, Miss Geraldine, our biology teacher both in junior high school and senior high school, to share with us our experiences in this project. Hi, Miss Geraldine. Kamusta po
Hi.
kayo dyan?
Good morning, Sir Teo. Okay na okay dito sa school. I'm here now.
Yan po. Ayan. Yes. Would you like to share now how the SJA participated in the
Yes, of
COP25
course.
and how was it? Sige pa. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Teo. Good morning and a blessed day to everyone. Isang mapagpalang umaga po sa lahat ng ating mga viewers here and abroad. Yan. Okay, so my task po for today is to share with you my experience, our experience in participating in this international collaborative project, the Decolonize, Decarbonize COP25. This was held last December 2 to 13, 2019 in Madrid, Spain. But due to unavoidable circumstances, me and the student representative was not able to attend physically, but virtually through the help of our Google apps. Now we were able to be there. Now, this conference was represented by 30 different countries from different continents, and for 4 months, okay, we selected 12 students and one lead student in the name of Maverick De Castro, okay, who became the voice of the country and the school as well. Now, the aim of this project is to inspire the leader of the world to take on the climate emergency that we are now facing. This project, as what Ms. Millet and Sir Teo had mentioned, is designed and delivered by Taking IT Global and the Center for Global Education with partnership with Oceanwise and under the moral patronage of UNESCO. with input on branches of Intergovernmental Hydrology Program, Eco-Hydrology, Biosphere Resources, and Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO and other association school networks. So bakit po ganito, no? So as what Sir Teo had mentioned, every year iba-iba po yung theme ng ating COP or the Conference of Party. For the last year, for 2019, the theme is more on oceanography. Okay. So in this collaborative journey, okay, so this is the launch of the collaboration, and let's watch. So in this collaborative journey, our students have involved communicating with each other with dedicated virtual classrooms. So they communicate through video conferencing, and they do send emails to each other. Okay, as what you've seen, now they're having these video conferences. And for them to understand the climate change, the colonization, and youth mobilization, and the various stakeholders in the climate movement. Okay, so you see, they are having the conference with Australia. And then another thing, our students have addressed issues. They were able to make blogs, and then they were able to post it. One more thing, our students, they were able to make an original art piece under the theme of climate crisis with a specific impact on water. One of our grade 10 students submitted the artwork. This is the artwork actually submitted by Reynar Sanchez, and this was selected to be a part of the publication on COP25 white paper. And our students also then made or utilized the Google survey or Google form. So through this form, they were able to gather results, and based on the results, they made a commitment that first, they use social media to spread the information and awareness to people. Second, to reduce the use of water consumption. Third, to know more about ocean and raise awareness on the effect of climate impacts on water. Fourth, they also suggest to have a blue climate fund, same as with the green climate fund. They also try to make a suggestion, okay, for the use or to refuse the use of non-environmental friendly products. By the way, they use this Google Sheet, no, in presenting, okay, this part. Again, on the seventh part, they agreed, okay, to have or suggested to have protection and restoration of the coastal ecosystem and do research on the issue of acidification and reduce carbon footprints. Truly, as an educator and as on the side of the learners, Google Apps po talaga napakalaki ng tulong, no, for us. It made our work easy, talagang napadali. When it comes to communication, it made easy through email, to the group mails. The use of a Google Calendar is very useful. The Gmeet, the link of the calendar to the Gmeet, as what Sir Teo and Ms. Millet said, ang hirap po ng time difference namin, no? Kasi most of them, pagka we have a conference, lagi na lang tayong nasa latter part, gabi na, minsan umaga na, madaling araw na. So with this calendar, na-adjust po natin yan, and with the use of our Google Meet. And not only that, no, storing of files and sharing of documents through Google Drives, the use of Google Docs, Google Sheet was made easy. Not that easy, pero safe po in safekeeping is guaranteed. So with that, that is our experience in COP25. To tell you more of our other international collaborate project, can I call or turn the screen now to Ms. Violi, our junior high school science coordinator, as she relate to us the activities of different programs of International Dialogue for Energy Futures. Miss Violi, how are you?
Hi, good morning, Doc Boji. How are you doing? It's a
I'm
Saturday, sunny
fine.
day outside. Yes,
Yes, it
very
is.
good.
Opo.
Yeah. At magandang umaga din po sa ating lahat. It's a sunny day outside and we thank the Lord for this wonderful day. All right. So just to give you a short background on how our school, St. Joseph's Academy, got involved in the international dialogue on energy futures, Miss Carrie Karsgaard from the University of Alberta, Canada, invited our school to join the said event through the guidance of our dynamic principal, Miss Melissa Espiritu. How about that? First, we had a series of teacher orientation wherein we used the Google Meet as our platform. As you can see now in our presentation, our first encounter with other educators across the globe made use of the Google Calendar for easier access of schedules for video conferencing. Educators all the way from Brazil, Canada, Costa Rica, Colombia, Ghana, India, Kenya, Nigeria, Peru, Poland, and Slovenia, to name a few. This project has been made possible through a partnership between the Center for Global Citizenship, Education and Research, Transition in Energy, Culture and Society, Petrocultures, and Just Powers at the University of British Columbia, the Department of Communication Arts at the University of Waterloo, taking its global, and the Center for Global Education. Personally, for a seasoned teacher like me who had been in the academe for almost 3 decades now, had a wonderful learning experience to meet and exchange ideas virtually with these people. Next slide, please. All right, in our next slide, as you can see, our students were truly engaged in delivering their research work, while fellow educators across the globe were listening attentively. We stayed in the high school library as our venue for the video conferencing. In our next slide, yeah, that's also another slide for video conferencing. Next slide po. There you go. So together we can make the change. Together we aspire to reimagine the values and beliefs that structure our life activities. So as you can see in our slide, this is Team SJA Philippines. We are very proud to present to you this group of grade 11 students as our country's delegates for the International Youth Deliberation on Energy Futures. So we have chosen 17 grade 11 students who really made a very good discussion with other students across the globe. Okay, next slide, please. As I was saying, together we can make the difference. In the previous slide, as you can see, together we can make the change. Together we aspire to reimagine the values and beliefs that structure our life activities, experiences, and hopes for the future as we move towards new, lower carbon and socially just energy for futures. Virtual classroom was also set for our student delegates. Pre-conference activities were accomplished by our students wherein they needed to create a profile in the virtual classroom. So as you can see in this slide, okay, it shows the carbon footprint sample created by our continental partner students from Poland. Google Jamboard served as the platform where youth delegates were encouraged to post their ideas about the damaging effect brought about by carbon emission. So if I may quote what Ms. Kari Karsgaard stated in one of our video conferences, the mention of modern freedom stands on an ever-expanding base of fossil fuel use. Most of our freedoms so far have been energy intensive, but in the face of present and increasing climate-related devastation, radical change is needed to decrease our energy use and transition to alternative sources. So as you can see in the carbon footprint where the Google Jamboard was used, no, alam nyo, nakakakilabot. We were having goosebumps here kasi we can see how the 21st century skills were actually promoted in all parts, across the globe. Yung tinatawag nating collaborative work. And we are so proud that our Philippine delegates, our youth, our students from St. Joseph's Academy did not just present our school, but presented to the entire world, the youth of the Philippines. All right, in our next slide, all right, so as you can see in this slide, Canadian youth delegates were also presenting other alternatives for energy transition as they support the expansion of hydropower plant. Our student delegates, as you can see in green uniform, were listening attentively while exchanging notes with their counterparts. In the next slide, okay, in the next slide, as you can see, educators and students were using the chat box as an effective tool to communicate their thoughts. Questions and answers were also posted in the chat box. Next slide, please. Okay. April 17 to 19 in the year 2019 was the writers' retreat schedule, and during those dates, student delegates from each school contributed to a paper or presentation of energy futures. Google Docs, Chatbox, Google Meet, Google Calendar, Google Sheets, and Zoom were maximized to work together collaboratively. Google Suite apps made the educators in particular and students effectively communicate and share their insights and thoughts. Google made the new normal easier. G Suite apps, to top it all, has improved the technology of the new generation. In this slide, as you can see, the fifth International Conference on Environmental Pollution, the previous slide, Mies. There you go. So the fifth International Conference on Environmental Pollution Treatment and Protection was supposedly held in Lisbon, Portugal, but did not materialize due to the current situation we are in right now. But this should not stop the advocacy of our youth delegates to raise their voices on environmental concerns. Next slide, please. And as you can see, in this slide, it shows how our students conveyed the result of their almost 4 months of intensive research as they bravely presented the greenhouse gas emission per sector in the Philippines. In our next slide, as you can see here, is another slide where the International Youth Deliberation on Energy Futures were also presented. Next slide, please. All right, so as you can see, what does this represent? Regardless of your color, your race, your culture, and language barrier, it is never a hindrance. After all, working as one for the betterment of the next generation is educators' utmost desire. I hope and I know that all of us educators with 100% support and agree that when we work as one together with the help of the Google educators group, together with all the Google apps that we are using right now in our respective schools, it will make education much easier, and we can convey the informations, all right, effectively. To learn more about the conference of to know more about the next conference of parties or COP26, it is my privilege to introduce to you our grade school assistant principal and senior high school professor in theology. We have Mr. Ray Sario. Sir Ray, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Miss
Go
Violi.
ahead.
Yes, magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Hello, world. Yeah, so as of the moment, I will going to present to you what is happening in our COP26 International Collaborative Project. Okay, so as of the moment, I am very grateful, okay, and excited kasi for 3 consecutive years, kasama pa rin tayo at nagiging part pa rin tayo ng Center for Global Education, and of course, taking it global sa preparation ng upcoming United Nations Climate Change Conference or UNFCCC Conference of the Parties 26 with the hashtag decarbonize, hashtag decolonize. So this is our engagement, okay, ng aming faculty mentors together with 17 grade 10 to 12 students. That is, they are our selected grade 10 and 12 students for an interactive and virtual classroom, and participates in a series of live online collaborations or video conferencing, the collaborative blogging and vlogging, writing essays, making presentations, making surveys, using different platforms in G Suite. Okay, so the picture on the screen is our UNFCCC COP26 student delegates that will be held in Glasgow, the United Kingdom from November 1 to 12, 2021. That will be on next year under the presidency of the United Kingdom government. Okay, next slide please. So on the screen, so previous slide miss po. So on the screen are the faculty mentors of the CUP. Okay, we were discussing our projects such as engaging our students delegates to participate actively in research on current local and national issues affecting our society and the environment, saving our common home, which is the Mother Earth, and of course, engaging them to have a call to action for the environment and our fight against climate change. So all of these outputs will be presented in the COP26 in 2021. So next slide, yes, that slide. In our Google Meet presentation, in our meeting, we were brainstorming different issues in the Philippines that affect climate change. So these students were given activities such as gathering different data to prepare them for the upcoming collaborations. So each of them will be given a case study on local and national issues. Pero nakafocus pa rin ito sa team ng COP26 that includes the transition to clean energy, clean transport, nature-based solutions, adaptation, resilience, and mitigation. So their case studies will be documented and will be shared with everyone through Google Docs. So in our discussion during the meeting, lahat sila ay binibigyan namin ng share sa Google Docs, sa Google Slides, sa lahat ng mga Google applications natin, at lahat kami ay nagkakaroon ng collaboration on the spot during our meeting. So napakaganda ng collaboration na to sapagkat kahit nasa kanya-kanya kaming bahay ay nagagawa namin ang mga collaborative projects na to na together with us, and of course we collaboration with other countries. Okay, so in that slide pa rin, we have our bilateral collaboration conversations last November 4, 2020. Okay, and our students presented the research project on different issues that attribute major effects on climate change that need immediate actions. So these students, our 17 students, compared their cases to Australia and reflected in what it means to be a member for both a global community and how they respond to the global issues of climate change at a civic level. So the students, we use here Google Docs and Google Slides, at nagkaroon kami ng collaboration. Lahat ng students dito ay talagang ginawa nila ng lahat. Nagsunog sila ng kilay, hanggang gabi ginawa namin lahat-lahat ng yan. So during our continental region presentation, so we have our participating countries, the Philippines, Canada, Australia, Bangladesh, India, Turkey, and Indonesia. So sila lahat ay nagkaroon sila ng discussion dito tungkol sa kanilang reflections, sa kanilang contribution during the bilateral meeting, at dito na nila na i-present yung kanilang mga contributions, kanilang call to actions, lalo na yung nationally determined contributions, yung indice nila na kung saan kailangan nilang magawa ngayon na because of the changing climate natin. Okay? So next one, lahat naman ng mga presentations, lahat ng mga outputs, lahat ng mga research nila ay inilalagay namin dito sa Google Classroom. Okay? So aside from the regular Google Classroom na ginagamit namin sa aming classes, meron din kami sariling Google Classroom intended lang for our advocacy dito sa international collaborative projects namin. So in the following months, sa aming process on papunta doon sa COP26 sa 2021, lahat ng mga collaborative work nila ay ipopost nila dito sa Google Classroom namin. Okay? At para lahat kami ay maging involved, lahat kami nakikita namin kung ano na yung development, ano na yung mga data, mga latest na nagagawa namin. So lahat ng mga output na nakalagay dito sa Google Classroom namin ay ipipresent ito sa COP26 sa 2021. And of course, one of the best practices that we have in St. Joseph's Academy is the collaboration of our faculty members with the different organizations that have a major role in advocating environmental justice. So here in grade 12 theology, we have our subject, Living Laudato Si. This is an encyclical letter of Pope Francis on taking care of our common home. So glad to say, all of my co-climate reality leaders, I invited them to participate in our classroom. Okay, so I am a climate reality leader. I was trained by Vice President of the United States, Al Gore, and my co-climate reality leaders. I advised them to include their lectures, their outline of their topics sa aming syllabus na nakalagay sa Google Docs na nakashare sa kanila. And of course, yung kanilang mga PowerPoint presentations, yung kanilang mga slides, and kanilang mga materials ay na-include din nila dito sa syllabus namin at naipapasok din namin ito sa aming Google Classroom stream as part of the materials. Okay? So itong aming Google Classroom na ginagamit. So sa regular classes namin, meron kami mga iyan ang ginagamit ng aming mga teachers and students, and sa aming ding mga advocacies, gumagamit din kami ng aming mga Google Classroom din. So malaking tulong po ang Google Classroom, lalong-lalo na ngayon sa aming online distance learning. Malaking tulong ito para ma-implement namin, maibigay namin o magawa namin yung aming engagement sa community, yung aming participation sa community para to save our planet through local and international collaborative projects using G Suite for Education. So here are the video sample of our students using Google Apps. Okay, so this is from the research. Diyan nila ipinapasok yung kanilang mga script na ilalagay nila sa Google Apps na ipapasok nila sa kanilang vlogs. And the other demonstration of the Google Classroom ay nandiyan na lahat. So this is our classroom intended for COP26. So all the materials are posted there. And all of this because of the Google Suite and Google applications na ibinigay sa amin for almost 3 years na ginagamit namin. And we thank Miss Paula for giving us all of this. Binigyan niya kami ng instruction dito paano gamitin. Nag-train siya sa amin. Lahat ng aming mga teachers ay maalam na tungkol dito paano gamitin itong mga Google applications na to. And maraming salamat sa Google Education. All right, so that is for today, Sir Teo. Thank you very much for listening.
Ayan, thank you, Sir McRae. I'm so much impressed and overwhelmed po sa presentation of our dear panelists and the success of our collaborative project of teachers and students from COP24 up to COP26 and in international dialogue in energy futures. To recapitulate our presentations and share po sa inyo our collective takeaways, these Google Suites for Education immensely give us an important role to our school advocacy in helping and saving our mother nature. It directly guides us as an educator to develop our students' organizational skills and problem solving, which are essential competencies during the bilateral and continental planning and preparations. Moreover, these Google applications enhance the efficiency, productivity, and effectiveness in these collaborative projects creatively done by our student and teacher delegates. As what Miss Violi said, and I quote, Google made the new normal easier. With these widely used and free Google applications, we effectively communicate our students' brilliant minds and thoughts, foster a high degree of collaboration, and empower our students in a new normal way. The COVID-19 global health crisis shouldn't be a reason to stop this environmental initiative and awareness of our students. Using these digital learning tools have easily helped our students to participate again on this awesome collaborative project. Thus, it has improved the technology of the new generation in the teaching and learning process. These technological innovation boosts and revolutionizes Filipino quality education. Once again, I am Theo with me, Miss Melissa, Sir Ray, Miss Violin, Miss Geraldine. Together, we are GEG APAC speakers from St. Joseph's Academy saying thank you, Teacher Paula, for we appreciate your lending of ears. Salamat po sa ating mga audience. Salamat.
Maraming salamat po sa St. Joseph's Academy faculty ng senior high school. It was indeed a very, sabi ko nga, nakaka-excite kasi hindi lang pala talaga teachers yung natutulungan ng Google Apps, but even those who are, the students themselves. And in fact, yun yung nagdadala sa kanila in order for them to really collaborate, globally. And I like what Ma'am Melissa mentioned just in the beginning of her talk, making the right connection. So, ako po, meron po akong question on that. So, paano po ba nag-start yung initiative na to sa inyong school? Parang how did you make the right connections in order for you to bring your students to that kind of mindset also and activities?
Okay. In terms of connecting with the Center for Global Education, I personally worked with them before in 2017. We had a project called Global Citizenship Education for Sustainability. So it's the same people, it's the same bright minds that that anchored the cups, our participation in the various conference of parties. By talking to these people, there are researchers, professors, school leaders, teachers, from various schools in Canada. But in particular, the research is being done by graduate students of the University of Alberta. So parang advocacy arm nila ito, and they also want to gather as many youth voices from around the world. So in-email lang nila ako if I want to participate again kasi natapos yung Global Citizenship for Education project. And then they started pitching. Kumbaga, naghahanap talaga sila ng schools in the Philippines. And yun, that's how it started. And then I started tapping our faculty. Ito na nga, nakikita nyo na sila ngayon. And preparing them for many sleepless nights of mentoring the students. Siguro din ang maganda rin for those who are listening, meron ding opportunity din na for next year, and I will maybe announce it through GEG if there are teachers and schools that would like to participate with us in the future. Kasi pwede naman na more than one school in the Philippines, I'll just find out how that will work out. Pero ganun po, mahirap sa simula, kasi it will take up much of your time. 6 na buwan po ito na tinatrabaho. But the end result, ayan po yung next question, yung benefits to students. Hindi nyo po siya maka-quantify, because our students turn out to be better people because they have delved deeper into issues that otherwise nababasa lang nila sa libro, napapanood nila sa social media. Iba na mag-isip ang mga bata ngayon. So, ayun, siguro we can do that next question. Benefits this initiative have for SJA graduates. Who wants to answer that? Anong benepisyo ba sa mga estudyante nating nagpuyat na late sa mga susunod nilang klase? What are the benefits?
All right, Miss, ako sasagot. Uh, I am teaching Laudato Si sa grade 12, and I always teach them na kailangan nila magkaroon ng action today, as in now na, kasi sa maagang pamamaraan kailangan nilang matutunan ang lahat ng ito, kasi tayo natututo tayo ngayon pinag-aaralan natin to ngayon, inaalam natin ano ba yung effect ng lahat ng ito sa society natin, ano bang effect nito sa mundo natin, kasi meron tayong climate change. Nararamdaman na ba natin yung climate change ngayon? Yes, of course. So, ang gusto nating ma-inculcate sa kanilang mga kabataan na pagka-graduate nila, sila na yung papalit sa atin. So sana lahat ng mga delegates natin dito na tinatap natin na mag-participate sa lahat ng ito ay yung community engagement nila tsaka yung participatory action nila sa community ay hindi mawala, katulad ng ginagawa natin.
Okay.
Kasi si Francis Miss sinasabi niya hear the cry of the poor, hear the cry of the earth. So sino ang naapektuhan ng climate change? 'Di ba yung pinakamababa, yung pinakamahihirap? So ito ang ating dapat gawin. Let us teach our students to have their community engagement and participatory action sa lahat ng bagay dito sa mundo through ecological spirituality, ecological education, magkaroon sila ng response to the cry of the poor, response to the cry of the earth, at yung adaptation nila ng lifestyle, yung simple lifestyle, because we are SJA. SJA, we are simple, Jesus-centered, and always achiever, and always available to serve. So itong ating core values natin ay gusto nating matutunan nila kahit sila lumabas man sa St. Joseph's Academy, makagraduate man sila, makapaghanap ng trabaho at maging isang maligayang mamamayan in the future. Hindi dapat tuturo natin sa kanila.
Yes, thank you, sir. Tsaka may sense of urgency dapat. No, yung gusto ko yung now na. It's not something that they will do once they are professionals or in college. They have to start now and carry through, no, until it reaches many generations. The next question.
Like how we this initiative actually begins a conversation to the youth. That's one thing that I want, that yun yung take away ko dito, na parang kailangan nilang simulang pag-usapan. Tama yung sinabi po ni Ma'am Melissa na now na, hindi ka maghihintay ng later kung kailan hindi na siya maaagapan. So that is basically something that we should all get, no? If our viewers right now, I hope na yun po yung isang take away ninyo. Kailangan pag-usapan na natin siya ngayon, and the youth needs to start the conversation also within their peers. So, with regards to that, since you are dealing with students po, and this is, I see that it's basically a student initiative mostly, yung talagang work, and the mentors are just guiding them, facilitating for them. How did the parents support this initiative po?
Ms. Violi?
Okay, Ms. Paula. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Millet. So if I may answer, no, I'll try my very best to answer your inquiry in number 2. So our parents are, in terms of support, they were 100% very supportive. Why? Kasi nga, ang kinikater natin ngayon, we're trying to develop the 21st century skills to our students. And one of this is a collaborative work. So hindi pwedeng ang students lang and teachers lang ang pwedeng more mag-work hand in hand. So we need here the number one client in the school, our parents. But of course, parents will always be parents, Ms. Paula, no? Parents will always be parents. They will always think of what is for the common good. So may konting, medyo parang sa umpisa, ano ba yan? They were so curious to know about it. But later on, as we go deeper, as we move on for the past 4 months, now we had sleepless nights, makikita mo na pati yung mga parents were all satisfied. They were so very supportive kasi inaabot kami minsan ng, sabi nga ni Ms. Millet and Sir Teo, Doc Boji, Sir McRae, inaabot kami sa eskwelahan ng 1, 2 o'clock, 3 a.m. And we even slept. Alam ni Sir Teo yan, we even slept in the school clinic. Ang mga boys nandoon sa school library. Pero pag halimbawang susunduin na yung mga anak nila at around 3 in the morning, 3 a.m. Ito na yung mga magulang, nandun na sila sa parking area. Tapos makikita mo sa kanila, iba yung glow ng mata nila and they keep on saying, Teacher, thank you. St. Joseph's Academy, thank you for exposing our students, no, the youth. Kasi importante ito eh. Let's get our students get out of the box. Their comfort zone. Ang dami-dami, there's so much to learn, no? The whole planet. Lalo ngayon, yung Mother Earth natin, lagi ko nga sinasabi sa mga students, when Mother Nature strikes back, it hurts and it deeply hurts. So ngayon, nagiging eye-opener ito sa kanila eh. No? When they work collaboratively, when they critically get themselves involved, they engage in the different dialogue, ang ganda-ganda pakinggan kasi in their very own self, makikita mo sa kanila na yung advocacy, the sense of social responsibility was there. Of course, with the help of our dear parents, we are very thankful to the parents of St. Joseph's Academy here in Las Piñas City. Kasi makikita mo talaga na kung pwede lang lahat ng students, ipasok natin itong subject about international youth deliberation. Pero in behalf of our science teachers, my co-fellow, my fellow teachers in the science department, we're really trying our very best. No? We are really training our students na get out of your comfort zone. The book will serve as your guide. No? Love your books and the book will love you, but the wisdom. Makikita mo lahat yan eh. Kaya nga sinasabi nga sa Bible, if I may quote, diba, sabi nga, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things and His righteousness and all these things shall come unto you. So, magbigay tayo ng panahon para sa environmental concerns and issues natin. At nakakatuwa kasi nga, ulitin ko, ang mga magulang ng St. Joseph's Academy were all very supportive. Yan lang po. Thank you so much.
That's very beautiful po. Yung nakikita natin that halos talaga lahat ng stakeholders, they're into it. And kumbaga parang yung support na binibigay ng magulang at ng school. I think that's one of the things na kailangan talaga nating i-press, lalo na if we have this kind of initiative in our schools, is that it's not only going to be the student and the teachers, it's the whole community. So maganda po yung marami po akong natutunan talaga today, and I really like the fact that you were able to connect the students to people, no, yung mga malalaking tao na nasa ibang bansa. Ang laking bagay nun para sa isang bata, para sa isang estudyante, kasi once that they get out of the box, once that they get out of, the four walls of the classroom, yun na yun eh. Yun na yung talagang real world na magtuturo sa kanila ng mga bagay. At, and pag meron silang sariling pwedeng ibigay sa ibang tao, just like what you're doing in St. Joseph's Academy, then they will be able to influence others as well. And magandang topic talaga ang climate change. Isa siyang topic na hindi masyado siguro talagang napapag-usapan ng mga bata sa school. Pero kayo po, I salute all of you for really, going out there, pushing your students to do this and knowing more about climate change and collaborating. Yun yung isang pinaka-importante, collaborating with other people, not only within the Philippines. Actually, international nga po yung ginawa niya. So, I really want to thank you po for sharing your experiences. I hope that our viewers po for today, you guys are inspired. If you want to start this, join this initiative also, or get your school to start something like this, I hope that you can reach out to the YouTube channel of St. Joseph's Academy. So si Ma'am Melissa, yan, she has been a long time friend, and you can reach out to these people, kay Sir Ray, kay Sir Theo, kay Ma'am Violi, kay Ma'am Geraldine. Please reach out to them kasi teachers, isa pong importanteng bagay na matuto ang ating mga estudyante na mag-collaborate not only within the school but even outside of it, internationally po.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po, St. Joseph's Academy, Senior High School faculty. Thank you so much for
Thank
today.
you too.
So we will be
Our
Thank you for the
privilege.
having
Our
opportunity
privilege.
yeah,
also.
we
Thank
will be having
you.
many talks po for today. If you are watching via the YouTube channel of St. Joseph's Academy, we will be having several talks on different Google tools and even experiences of other teachers in terms of sa English, sa math. Marami po tayong topics today sa GEG APAC Week and Live. We hope you can join us po. In fact, as we speak, no, um, ongoing na yung session on Google Forms and Google Classroom. It's actually in Hiligaynon, Ilonggo. So kung meron po kayong kakilala that speaks Ilonggo or Hiligaynon, please go to GEG Philippines' YouTube channel and also Facebook page. Again, St. Joseph, maraming salamat po, faculty members of St. Joseph's Academy. I hope that everybody has a great day today. Mabuhay po lahat ng Pilipinong guro. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
Mabuhay. Thank you,
Maraming
Pao.
salamat po.
Bye.
God bless everyone.
Okay.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you.